Good morning. My name is Leslie Williams, and I am in San Diego, California. I'm a target, victim, and activist concerning the criminal expedition of what is known as organized stalking, which is also called gang stalking. Now, it's not stalking by gangs, and organized stalking is nothing but a type of crime that operates on a template of protocols, methods, and tactics. Sorry, and tactics. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically just fly right into the purpose of this video. But before I do it, I want to give you some information concerning who I am, what I've discovered over time, and some details concerning the criminal expedition that is happening right now towards 500,000 documented targets in the United States, and that's not including more than likely at least the same amount of targets who have been victims of this crime in the past, current, and currently, who don't know what's happening to them, so they have not been able to report the crime that is happening to them. Excuse me, please. Now, this is a serious video, okay? And so I hope that it is seen in the light of the seriousness concerning what I am reporting and what I am detailing and what I am describing. Because these crimes literally encompass some of the most heinous crimes that have literally ever been perpetrated towards human beings. You know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to fly right into the purpose of this video so you can research what I described. Go to the bottom, please, of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. At the very, very bottom of their homepage is 3 PDF links. Thoroughly scrutinize. The best thing to do is to print out the information in reference to what I describe and the web pages that I direct you to. Now, go to www.surveillanceissues.com. Thoroughly scrutinize and print out every single thing from their web page as well. Go to UnitedTargetedIndividualsEurope.com. Now, that is in reference to organized stalking, gang stalking targets in another country, because these expeditions are going on worldwide and they are protected by Interpol. Now, but the technological resources, including the nanotechnology, the neurocognitive weapons, and the organized stalking that always is coupled with these expeditions, did come from the United States military. And some of the inventions that they built off of came from Russia. Now, this technology was developed as a result of the Nazi scientists being brought over here at the end of World War II. Yes. And some of the technology that was developed in Russia, okay, was that more than likely as a result of the Nazi scientists that they got a hold of. And once you take the time, and in order for you to understand the full scope and nature concerning these criminal expeditions, it will take you'll get a preliminary template of reference so you can get an idea of what these crimes are in a matter of a week or two. But in order to see the full scope of it, it's probably going to at least take you at least 1 month, at least, okay? And the reason why I'm stating that is because these criminal expeditions and the technological resources that are used with them are involved in multiple criminal motivations and aspirations. Everything from the following, but not the following statements are not the only thing that in reference to the type of crimes that these expeditions are responsible for. Land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting, trust fund liquidation, identity theft, non-consensual human experimentation, torture, physical rape, electronic torture, mind control, neural decoding and neural encoding, neural enslavement. The 13th Amendment is directly concerning slavery. This technology has the literal ability to literally neurally enslave a human being and to literally not only take over their consciousness, but to also take over their free will and to also force the target to make decisions that will end up hurting them. Literally. And if you do your thorough investigative research in reference to this, you will come to understand the factual realities of it. I'm looking at a baby squirrel right now. And they've been coming to I'm hiking in California while I'm saving for a mobile home. And actually my living situation was covertly managed by the organized stalking that has been happening to me openly now, overtly and sometimes directly, for the last 11 full years, every single day, everywhere I go. And this is part of the reason why, when I mentioned how these criminals, they have multiple motivations, multiple aspirations. They can have one motive and one aspiration for one target, 5 for another target, 10 for another, okay? And their methods and tactics are multiple, because in order for them to be able to implement the terror program against the target, they have to implement several different methods, tactics, and technological resources. And this is why I make these videos, so targets can deconstruct what's happening to them, family members and friends of targets can understand what's happening to them, and to bring the public aware concerning these criminal expeditions that are literally tied to literally the most heinous crimes that have ever been perpetrated towards human beings outside of murder. And murder does happen to a target as well. Now, Julian McKinney is mentioned and Robert Becker are mentioned in the resources feature in reference to, like, the appendix of certain PDF files that are at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. You can go to Google and type in Live Leak, Greg Skamansky, and Julian McKinney. They did a radio interview that's online for you to listen to, and the text summary that summarizes what the radio interview is about is within the Live Leak feature that shows you the actual video that you can click on and listen to. And Julian McKinney flat out states that what is happening, and she is not the only one that has stated this. John Hall, you can go to YouTube and type in John Hall satellite terrorism and thoroughly listen to all of his videos. And I'm going to get back to John Hall in a second. Now, when it comes to, I'm sorry, but my little squirrels are only this big. Anyways, John Hall has got some videos online at YouTube and Google. You can YouTube and Google him, especially as well, Google John Hall satellite terrorism artificial thoughts, because that is relevant to these expeditions. As a result of the military intelligence community and the military industrial complex figuring out, okay, how to neurally decode and encode the human brain and to manipulate the human biology, including the physiological system, the musculature system, and all of the organs of the human biology. Literally from head to toe, they have literally decoded the human biology and is able to access it, make a neurological access, a physiological access, and an EMG access, and an organ access from a remote distance using these technological resources. And these technological resources are being used for non-consensual human experimentation, torture, and neural enslavement. And that's where some of the human trafficking comes into play at. And I'm talking about sexual servitude rings in order to make money to fund black operations for the military, which are basically nothing but money that is generated that Congress will not give them openly. So they got to get the money from somewhere. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. So as a result of me exposing these criminal expeditions, this particular video is being made in order to help you understand what John Hall talks about in some of his latest videos. I believe it was in January 2013. He was covered on Coast to Coast, which is a nationwide broadcast, radio broadcast that can even be picked up worldwide. And he talks about how what they're doing is using other specific technology that is incorporated also within these expeditions to harvest emotional clusters and EEG spikes, which are EEG fluctuations that are generated as a result of the target experiencing torture, physical rape, electronic rape, assaults, threats, harassment, extreme duress, verbal abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse, and emotional abuse. Whenever a human being, whether it be emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, any type of abuse, the human body automatically processes and experiences emotional states and brain states, and certain thought processes in reference to the experience, depending on what type of experience it is. And this is one of the reasons why the torture and the harassment and the abuse is done, okay? So the brain can experience the effects and the response of the abuse. And as a result of them being monitored as the abuse is occurring, their emotional clusters and the EEG spikes that are fluctuating as the abuse is being experienced are being harvested by them in their computers. Because at the end of the day, we are nothing but bioelectrical chemical systems. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. These harvested emotional clusters and these harvested EEG spike fluctuations have electrical signals attached to them. They can clone them and retransmit them back to the same target for them to re-experience and another target by modulating and modifying them, and then transmit them back to a future potential target or another separate current target. Yes, and they're harvesting them on a huge scale, like you would not believe. Now, Julian McKinney flat out states that these expeditions are not only monitoring the target, but they're also neurally choreographing the people they're getting to abuse the target for future exploitation. And when you look at the amount of targets that have existed in the United States ever since these expeditions have started, at least since the 50s, then what you have to do, hang on a second, look at this. See him? Then what you have to do is you have to understand that Julian McKinney states also in the interview that there's more than likely that will be headed for a Holocaust. Us targeted individuals have been covered on the Jesse Ventura Brain Invaders show, and Robert Becker is on the tail end of that show. He flat out states that we're not being abused, that we are being tortured. And even though the technological resources that are causing those specific types of torture are not mentioned by name, because you better believe the government makes sure that you only know so much, okay? Robert Becker is mentioned in the resources feature of the remote neural monitoring file that's at the bottom of Freedom from Harassment and Surveillance. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. Targeted individuals have been covered on nationwide nationwide radio shows. We have been covered on the Jesse Ventura Brain Invaders show. We have been covered sometimes on local news broadcasts. Synthetic telepathy is another aspect of these criminal expeditions. And the only way that you're going to be able to make sense of this in order to be able to make informed decisions about protecting yourself, because when you look at this, Julian McKinney flat out states, and as well as on the Jesse Ventura show, Robert Becker flat out states that this will be used on a worldwide scale. It's not, this technology has not been weaponized for no reason, okay? So what we have to do is we have to research and educate ourselves so we can make informed decisions, and so we can take precautionary measures to watch out for ourselves, to protect our loved ones, and to protect our communities at large. This technology can alter the brain and make somebody nervous, hyperactive, rageful, angry, depressed. They can cause individuals to have panic attacks. Yes, sexual stimulation. They can take over the entire human mind and consciousness. Literally take it over. They can cause a person to literally attack another person. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. You would not believe what I know. Now, I believe that I've already mentioned this, but I'm having a white out. My father was Chief MP to General Curtis LeMay. I have high-ranking retired Air Force in my family, retired NASA, a cousin who was in retired NASA, and my ex-husband was a submarine radar antenna electrician. Submarine radar antennas are directly connected to the second PDF link that's at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. So when we look at these factual realities concerning these criminal expeditions and what they're used for and what they're being used for, okay, all we have to do is think to ourselves, why was this technology developed? Why is it being used right now for criminal expeditions and non-consensual human experimentation and torture? But why are they also subcontracting these technological resources to criminal groups, and to research facilities, and to private contractors? So the expeditions and the torture cannot be directly connected back to the CIA and the military intelligence communities. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. Right now, so anyways, go to Google and type in John Hall Satellite Terrorism. He was covered on Coast to Coast in January 2013. You can YouTube it, and you can come to understand the factual reality concerning these criminal expeditions. And so, the point I'm trying to make to you is that the only way that you're going to be able to see what is happening to this technology can also be used to have the organized stalkers get somebody addicted to drugs, and then as a result of a neural pathway being developed in that person's mind that's directly connected to the limbic system, and the neural pathway that is directly connected to the limbic system that holds the cravings to do these drugs, it can be stimulated using remote neural monitoring. in order to activate it to get that person to go back out to use illegal substances. Neural enslavement. It can be used to get a person addicted to gambling, alcohol, sex, anything. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth concerning the factual realities of these organized gang stalking expeditions and what's really happening. The reason why targets are being tortured, raped, electronically raped, physically raped and electronically raped, abused psychologically, mentally, and emotionally on a daily basis everywhere they go, everywhere they go is so the brain can experience the duress and distress, so the EEGs and emotional clusters can be harvested. And this is the brutal, heinous nature of this crime. Non-consensual human experimentation as well. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. The only thing that I can do, fellow American citizens, is tell you the truth. People are being tortured. Average American citizens are being taken out of their homes and being tortured for these realities. And I don't think you can understand what it's like to also be tortured while you're sleeping. The remote neural monitoring file at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance can also enlighten you concerning artificial dreams. Go to YouTube and type in Valentine's Day 2/14/2013, Coast to Coast, George Norrie and Roger Tulsis. A targeted individual was on that. He can talk to you about the artificial dreams, because they're also harvesting the emotional clusters and the brain states and the EEG spikes of the person reacting to the artificial dream that is transmitted in their visual and audio cortex for them to experience even while they're sleeping. Targeted individuals are tortured 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day for these criminal expeditions, and we have done literally nothing wrong whatsoever. And we can't get no help from nobody because these crimes are protected by the government. Yes, we're set up to be institutionalized, jail, set up to be put in groups homes so the torture can continue. And these torture campaigns continue in institutions, jails, prisons, and even in group homes. Because they want to be able to put us in isolated environments for abuse, trauma, yes. So the public cannot see that it's happening to us. This criminal expedition is also happening to prisoner inmates. Yes. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. These are literally the most heinous crimes that a human being can experience. And we're put out on the street. Community members are lied to about us so they can be duped to harass us, to cause the emotional and mental duress. Yes. And while they're doing it, they're being nearly choreographed as well. I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. I made this video to open up your mind and give you information so you can research it, so you can come to understand the factual realities concerning it. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I am a targeted individual. Are targeted individuals being tortured? Thank you.